champion calling shit gay. That's like my whole thing. Yeah, Christina, the girl I'm talking to, she's Beauty and the Beast. She's from Knoxville.
Can't steal my thunder, man.
She's from New York.
That's all I got.
We keep setting up a group thing for a meetup, and it's also like a date, but it keeps getting blown off by the group. Welcome to Anecdotally, N.A.W, DroidWars, and other news. Apparently, that's the name. I am your host, Jay Fry. This is Sean's channel. Sean, say hi.
Hi.
Enough out of you, buddy. And we got Garrett with us.
Yeah, Josh says it's still not working for him.
Thing for a meetup. What the? And it's also like a date, but it keeps getting blown off by the group. That's really been helping the situation. Welcome to somebody else.
There's been an ongoing story involving.
So Josh will be with us, possibly momentarily, possibly never. But I am your host, Jay Fry.
You did share it on Twitter, right?
Sean, I did share it on Twitter, but I no longer have like a link from Twitter, so I can't send him like the other version of the invite, which is sending it directly to...
No. Like for people to show up, because I don't see anybody in the chat. Oh, never mind.
Ah, that's what I thought. No. There's no Alex Jones endorsement of anecdotal arguments, no matter how much I try.
That's unfortunate.
Hey, he backed up Dank. I mean, we're not that far behind Dank. Come on.
Did anybody actually watch the Blair White interview with him?
No.
No.
It did well for the interview and held their own with their opinions, and they were pretty entertaining. And then he says, "Can I hold you for one more segment?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Good." And when we come back, we'll talk. And he says something about like the technotronic transition of the elites or something like that. And the look on Blair's face when, like, she got hit in the face with something, and she's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "That's absolutely hilarious." It was so funny.
Well, the thing I stole the picture from was the Crowder interview with Jones from last week, I want to say. And
yeah, it was last week. I didn't see it though.
Yeah, it was amazing because it starts off good, and then Alex is like on par saying shit that makes sense, and you're like, yeah, I can get behind this. I was like, this guy knows what's going on, and Crowder's like, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. And then about halfway through, Jones starts sliding in the crazy, like just every now and then, and by the end, he's literally full bore raging nuts crazy. It's fantastic. I highly recommend people watching it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I used to watch it. I enjoyed it. I used to watch with my wife, and he would say things that were absolutely sounded crazy, 100% true. I saw things. It was weird because he's Alex Jones. He says absolutely weird, crazy shit all the time. So you don't need to misquote him. You just straight up quote him, and he's a fucking nut bar. But this was 2015 because it was Jade Helm 2015. I saw both Rachel Maddow, because I was watching at the time, Infowars, but I was turning in through different channels. Rachel Maddow and Megyn Kelly both said that Alex Jones hired a internet hacker of the black hat variety and sought government details on Jade Helm. I'm like, I was watching the show. I literally saw what happened. He says that the military, if it's not a secret document that's classified, has to be shown to all people on a site. And the site that they pick, they just dump tons and tons of files on. And boom, there's your freedom of information. And he had somebody pull it from there and give it to him. Not him particularly, but he verified that it was on the site and it came from that site. And he had the information for Jade Helm 2015, which did have, the conservative states were the territory of the bad guys, and the liberal states were the area of the good guys. But why would you need to lie about that? If your opponent is as absolute shit as you say he is, there's never a need to lie. Like, I just talked to the owner of the page Being Conservative, because he posted about how racist Trump supporters are, showing an all-black group with wearing MAGA hats. I was like, that's Brian Anthony Logan in the middle. I know where that was taken. That was an all-black come to the White House and we'll be black with you meeting. That wasn't some random rally that you want to make it out to be. There is so much fake news now, we don't need to be part of it. So you're calling it a rally. It wasn't a rally. It was an invitation-only event for the blacks. But if I hadn't seen, ABL, I wouldn't have known the specifics of what it was and could have thought it was a rally. But no, it was a meeting of the White House that was specifically designed for black people. We don't need to be part of the fake news, because they will catch us and they will call us out for it, because that's what they do. They lie their asses off, and then they bust the other party and call them a liar. I've never seen so much accuse your opponent of what you're doing as I have in the last couple of years.
It's like habitual now. It's like, and it's almost always from the left. I mean, I know the right does it too, but they just do it a lot less.
I don't know if the right does it though.
I think they do. I mean, it's one of those things that if the right is doing it and they accuse the left of doing it, the left is probably doing it too, and they're just leaving out the part that the right is also doing it. But the left seems to like do shit, and they're like, only the right is doing the shit that we do. So
yeah, anytime they accuse the right of something now, I'm like, oh shit. Like, the right's murdering baby seals. Holy shit, we're about to see some leftist clubbing baby seals.
Pretty much. I mean, and it's as horrible as it sounds, and I know it's not true, but it seems to me that when the left is all screaming about the Amazon catching fire, which happens, I don't know, about every 3 or 4 years anyway, seems to me that would be... It's awful opportune, especially given the timing, because it's actually winter down there. It's not summer. But that's something they don't tell you.
It can't catch fire in the summer. It's under 16 feet of water in the summer.
True. But, I mean, it's just like one of those things that you're like, it's awful convenient that this is happening now for you, right? As you're trying to orchestrate a global economic slowdown, or worse yet, a recession, just for your political ends.
Oh, so, yeah. Yahoo News is trying that hard. They're like, Trump fears economic recession. Like, he's at 3.4% growth. The highest growth of the previous administration was 0.8%.
I do not have a printer cable.
What is this nonsense with Josh? I could just email it to him. Is that gonna? Can he get on his phone?
His phone is busted, and he probably hasn't even restarted his phone. What is that?
Well, and then the one thing that nobody wants to talk about with the Amazon catching fire is that over the years, the area that has been burning to the ground has shrunk over time. Like 10 years ago, way more of it was burning. 20 years ago, even more, 30, 40, 50. It used to burn a lot of the area. Now, not quite as much.
10 years ago, it was like the entire eastern seaboard of the United States was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, roughly from New York to Florida, all the way out to Ohio. I'm like, oh, how big is the Amazon?
Freaking huge.
And yeah, because it was 20%. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's...
Like,
I mean, Brazil's big.
Number
one, it's on the equator, so it's like ballooned out in comparison to the Earth, because the Earth pushes out a little bit more. Maps don't do it justice as far as how much area is actually down there. It always looks smaller on maps than it actually is. Aha! Found it. Aha!
Nothing like it except a BMT. Chicken, mutton, and tomato. Or however it went. lettuce, mutton, and LMT, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually, aside from the fact that it does burn every couple of years, it's made of wood. That's literally how some trees promulgate or propagate.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's different than that. It's some of it's burning for clear cutting that got out of control. Some of it's natural. Some of it's not so much. And again, it's the dry season down there, so if it's going to catch fire, this is when it catches fire. And it's much like California wildfires. California is always on fire. Well, California always caught on fire. It's more noticeable now that more people live there and are living in the areas that traditionally catch fire. And now it's a problem because it's all built up back there.
Yeah, but they did import like a fuck ton of eucalyptus.
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
Eucalyptus literally puts out fumes that are flammable, and that's how eucalyptus spreads. They burn down, they come back. There's a reason trees are made of wood, and we burn wood. That's the whole situation. Like, why is this stuff made out of charcoal? It's burning. This is crazy.
Well,
our cities
cue
used
the
to
Lion
do
King.
that too. Back when we used wood to build most of our cities. Fires
And now
we
we are
rapidly
going
get out of
back to
control.
that. What's this thing about Melania having not met Kim Jong-il?
That's news to me.
I didn't know it was important whether or not Melania had met Kim Jong the second, or third, whatever he is. But it's on my Google. Like, hey, this is important.
That's probably just something that they want to throw in Trump's face. Does Kim have a wife? Does Kim have a concubine? Because has Trump met her? Probably not.
I have no idea.
Right. Does it matter? No, not at all.
So Biden screwed up so badly that it's now a three-way between Sanders, Warren, and Biden.
What? Just with the "I love Vermont" in Keene, New Hampshire comment? Is that his latest screw up, or did he do something else?
Mm-hmm.
Swallow a little Joe.
Well,
How's that work?
Okay, and I was saying this earlier. If you know your geography at all, Keene, New Hampshire is like right over the border from Vermont. So I get I get his mistake, but it's a really fucking stupid mistake regardless.
We've got Trump being wild at the G7.
Wild man Trump at the G7? How's that?
Well, he's not letting any of them corner him, so he's being flippant apparently. But he's at a time Trump sought to placate allies with assurances that he would work with them to broker trade deals, find areas of compromise, despite firmly establishing differences. Like, yeah, because we've got a president who's in the best interests of America and Israel, who is not backing down. Like, he's got a trade war with China right now, and we absolutely need it. China steals billions of dollars of intellectual properties every year. It's their major source of revenue, and everyone's placating them. How Hollywood's making movies for them in America. It's ridiculous. But Trump's in the southwest of France, and he's apparently being a dick to China. Who would have thought? Sorry, it's the way I negotiate, Trump shot back at a reporter during Monday's press conference when questioned about whether there's an actual strategy behind his constant back and forth on his position regarding trade with China. It was done very well for me over the years, Trump said. It's been doing better for the country. And you have to agree with him. The country is doing splendidly right now, even if it's at a profit war with China, who is the largest holder of our debt. But at the same time, they're stealing from us on a regular basis. So, yeah, we're going to have some issues.
Well, I saw a report today that that the yuan, is that the Chinese currency?
Currently.
Yeah, apparently it's collapsed, and inflation is out of control in China currently, which that's kind of an indicator that you're winning that trade war.
Yeah. I mean, China keeps looking at a BRICS currency, which is with Brazil, Romania, some other countries. The C is China. But, China's just buying up everything they can. It was going to happen eventually. That's why they were spending all their damn money on resources. Oh, here it is. White House clarifies that Melania Trump has not met Kim Jong-un. As President Donald Trump mentioned his wife, a camera cut to Melania in the audience, who cocked her head slightly and looked somewhat quizzical at the president. The White House issued a clarification Monday, stating that First Lady Melania Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un did not, in fact, know each other personally, as President Donald Trump erroneously claimed. During the closing news, at no point do you mention President Trump saying that she knew Kim Jong-un. I also say that, by the way, with respect to North Korea, Trump told reporters, Kim Jong-un, who I've gotten to know extremely well, the First Lady has gotten to know Kim Jong-un, and I think she would agree with me, the man of the country. So, getting to know somebody and having met them are the same thing?
I don't know. It's one of those things. They're just looking for any gotcha. See, he lies! He lies! Sort of moment for them. I don't think any of that matters. She's not in an elected position, and it doesn't matter at all.
Are you sure? No Melania 2024?
No.
Because they're pushing Michelle Obama like crazy.
Yeah, well, the problem with Melania is she wasn't born here, so she can't run. And it's just...
Michelle Obama wasn't born female, but she's still going to run.
Yeah, well... I don't think she will, and I am just opposed to not despotic, but dynastic rule. Period.
Oh yeah.
Period. Just no matter who. Like, so if Trump Jr. tries to run it, I'd be a no. Just like if Cindy McCain were to try to run for John's seat in 2020, which might actually happen. I'm not voting for her on principle because fuck dynastic rule. I was not real happy.
Really, though? That's your reason not voting for her?
Cindy McCain, not Meghan McCain. Although, who knows? Meghan might run, too. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, but that's your reason you're not voting for her? Is dynastic rule? Not that she would implement her husband's policies?
Well, I mean, it's a convenient overarching statement. Like, I'm not ever voting for another Bush. I'm not ever voting for another Clinton. I'm not ever voting for another Obama of any shape or sort. I will never vote for a Kennedy. I will never vote for, I would not even vote for a Reagan.
Well, his kids are huge disappointments.
Well, except for one of them.
Her, not him. So I've got Brent Kavanaugh's chickens have come home to roost. Because that's a super popular turn of phrase. Turns out supporting Brett Kavanaugh isn't super popular. Huh. I wonder why that is. Is it the same reason Trump had a 1.6% chance of winning and did? Because the media will shit on you whenever you talk about something that they don't want to hear? They'll hunt you down for a meme when you're 12 years old?
Oh, they'll hunt you down for a meme when you're 90. Remember they lit up that Trump supporter in Florida?
There was a 90-year-old making memes?
She became a meme because she was a Trump supporter and the press went out. CNN went out to her house to confront her. Remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, that was something that happened.
They went out after an elderly lady for supporting Trump?
Yeah. I think it was for supporting Trump. Or Kavanaugh or both or something. I don't remember. But yeah, they went out to her house and they outed her or something like that because she was a supporter and basically ruined her life because she dared not follow the doctrine. The wrong, she was guilty of wrong think.
Have I lost some votes because of my decision to support Justice Kavanaugh? Yes, I have. And I'm sad about that because I explained in great depth my decision making. Senator Susan Collins admits that her decision to support Brett Kavanaugh's nominee to the Supreme Court was not as popular in her home state of Maine as she would have hoped. Collins is facing a tough re-election campaign against likely opponent Sarah Gilden, who raised over $1 million in campaign funds the week she announced her candidacy. That's all. That's all this article had. Just trying to show a headline that Brett Kavanaugh bad. Hey, Wolfie.
Wolfie's here.
See,
Hurrah.
I've been checking out a lot of articles where it has like really one-sided headlines, and then there's nothing to the article.
Well, that's because they've realized that most people don't even read any of the article. They only read the headline.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
So.
On the shittier news, they're making a Captain America of Peggy Carter. She's going to be Captain America. She's getting the super serum.
Peggy Carter?
Yeah.
But isn't that... I mean, okay, so just time-wise, didn't Cap go back to live with Peggy Carter?
This is going to be a completely different universe. It's the What If series. Instead of what if they got somebody to do it, they just took somebody who was there, like Peggy Carter. And obviously, she's going to be a good person morally because Steve Rogers fell in love with her, so morally, she's wonderful.
Unless you watch the series that she starred in, and then you realize that she was just your average duplicitous spy.
Yeah.
She was just on the right side.
Yeah. So in the Marvel universe, the What If universe, they're going to have her play Captain America. What's her name going to be?
General America?
Captain Carter. As if Captain America was Steve's last name. Hi, I'm Steve America. No, it's Steve Rogers. But they're going to make her Captain Carter. It's a fictional rank. It's not like he actually became a captain.
It'd be so much better if she just played Colonel Sanders.
But
what's the matter, Colonel? Chicken?
There's only 9 secret herbs and spices. Why are we saying there's 11? The same reason there were only 2 SEAL teams and the second one was named 6. To confuse and confound the enemy. Which is just as good because the 3rd SEAL team was named 11. So, like, we're a super secret organization. Let's confuse the enemy by messing up our names that they should never ever even learn in the first place.
Well, that's just it. It's just admission that they're gonna learn eventually, which is smart, honestly.
Yeah, apparently every top secret thing we give to Israel, they turn over to the Chinese for twice the profit. So that's nice.
Yeah, well, at least they're making money.
What? Good on the Jews during wartime. Let's see what CNN has to say.
Why? Why would we do that?
Because I enjoy yelling about it.
Okay. Are we going to talk Star Wars and this abomination of a movie that's going to come out here in a couple of months?
Which one is it?
Is it Rise of the Skywalker or whatever they're calling it?
I really
Which one is that?
don't want to, but okay.
What do you mean, which one is it?
What number is it?
9.
Oh, that is 9?
Yeah, that'll be 9.
The final one.
You think Disney's going to stop? You're funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they got The Mandalorian coming out.
A boy can dream.
Way to contradict yourself, even in your own headlines. CEOs are selling stock like it's 2007. Corporate America leaders are cashing in their chips as doubts grow about the sustainability of the longest bull market in U.S. history. That's one headline. Second headline, Dow gains 270 points thanks to trade optimism. You can't have it both ways, CNN. You can't talk about this coming wishful collapse while we're still going up.
Well, didn't they just hire McCabe?
Yeah. Oh,
even-
speaking of hires, Sarah Sanders just got added to the Fox roster. Shocker there.
That was inevitable. But as far as CNN hiring McCabe goes, even the Washington Post had to go, hey, wait a minute. That doesn't smell right.
Former White House chief economist, the case for the Trump economy. I don't know under what leadership this is. I'm not even going to read the article. But here's the thing that bothers me. We had all of Obama's foreign relations jagoffs just absolutely talking shit about threatening the Trump and his bigger button against North Korea, and that unquestionably 100% worked. The my button's bigger than yours and I'll press the shit out of it, that was mocked by all the foreign experts, exactly worked because he was at the table and has done more in the last couple of years than the entirety of the Obama administration.
Yeah.
And they keep putting it out there and mocking him for it.
That's why they're all over every little setback. Like every other mid-range missile launch that North Korea has done, the fact that they're kind of thumbing their noses at the process now and they're playing a little bit of hardball. They see all of that as systemic indication of failure rather than grant one iota of success.
Yeah. It's like, but he negotiated. Like, yeah, that's what you do. Like Obama, before he got into office, did an apology tour. Like, where's your shitting on that? No, nothing? Okay. Nephilim says the Boba Fett movie looks okay, or at least better than everything else Star Wars. That's true, but it's not a movie, it's a TV show. Unless there's a movie coming out that I'm not aware of, but The Mandalorian is a TV show.
Well, and if apparently...
And it's like $150 million budget.
Yeah, well, apparently they've talked Ewan McGregor to coming back and playing Obi-Wan Kenobi for that series.
Well, I mean...
If
Boba Fett's alive, then yeah.
Well, and my buddy was telling me that I haven't watched the trailer for it yet, but apparently IG-88 is in it and does some cool shit. So I'm going to have to watch the trailer at some point. But if Disney can get a TV show that's more mature than the movies have been and make it about the time between episode 3 and episode 4, they will have a hit. Because
yeah.
I said this when Rogue One came out, I will watch every movie that Disney wants to produce that shows Darth Vader chasing down Jedi. I want to see Darth Vader chasing people down and wrecking their shit.
Was there a lot of that?
There was 10 minutes of it, if that, in the end of Rogue One. But it was enough that I'm like, this has saved this entire crap-ass movie. That last scene is so badass. And there's not much to it. It's just like, oh my God, Darth Vader is coming for them and they are running for their lives. This makes sense. This is what it's supposed to be. Every other movie you see him, Anakin's a little bitch, like the entire series. Darth Vader at the very end is not impressive at all, but yet in 4 and 5 and even 6, he's supposed to be this major threat. I want to see that major threat.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And that, I mean, you get 10 minutes of it in Rogue One, and that's about it. And if they can take the Mandalorian and have it be Darth Vader is hiring bounty hunters to hunt down Jedi.
Yeah. Well,
I will watch the fucking shit out of that.
I mean, my favorite part of any Star Wars movie is when Vader gets pissed and ends up committing workplace violence. When he chokes out his subordinate, it's like, all right.
yeah. Well, one of the things with Star Wars that makes it interesting, it's one of the few movies or even series of movies that it's the villain that makes the story and not the hero.
You're breaking up, but yeah, it's one of the few.
Let's be honest.
It's one of the few stories.
What do you
Luke
mean one of the
Skywalker's
few? Most stories are only compelling because
kind
of
of
the villain.
Just a whiny little bitch, and so is Anakin.
Nephilim wants a
Darth.
Yoda saga with a young, angry, ripped Yoda at about the 300-year mark. he's still spry.
There was another thing we got 5 minutes of.
That'd be fucked up if like they did one and Yoda was actually like a turtle. And like it's him finally coming out of his shell. It'd be like what Michael Bay wanted for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They wanted them to be aliens instead of turtles. Like, stop it, Bay. But no, instead we got fucking floppy lightsabers that unfold and become lightsabers that we've dealt with in other episodes.
Yeah, my buddy seems to think that that's 100% fake. He says it doesn't look right. It looks like Rey's like photoshopped in there, and that's not Rey that's really doing that. Which, okay, it still looks like garbage.
My nephew says that they had those lightsabers in one of the animated shows.
Yeah, it became popular with when in episode 1 with Darth Maul.
No, like the droids in one of the animated shows use those. The folding lightsaber.
I don't know. I think I'm done with Star Wars is what it's going to boil down to.
I stopped after the second one. I had yet to see the third one, and then the second one came out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Remastered with Han shooting after being shot at. I'm like, nope. Screw you, George Lucas.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Raggle, you might want to drop and reconnect. I think you're lagging at best, and you're kind of fuzzing out too.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you guys just fine.
That's only going one way, sir.
Yes. It's like you're actually reacting several seconds behind when I know you're actually reacting. So you are transmitting at a lag.
Fucking internet.
Restart. Break the conditioning.
All right, now that he's not here, let's talk bad about him.
He sucks. My neighbor came down and we were talking, and somehow we got onto Indiana Jones because we're still talking about Lucas. And he had mentioned that he loved all the Indiana Jones films. He was a big fan of Indiana Jones. He loved all 3 of them. And I was like, sir, there are 4 Indiana Jones movies. It's like, no, I wasn't talking about the kid movie. I'm like, that was a TV show. There's actually 4 movies. So you haven't seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, have you? He goes, what's that? I'm like, that's the 4th Indiana Jones movie. Let's watch it. Do you know who Shia LaBeouf is?
Jesus, you're horrible. You wrecked that guy's life.
I did. Not only that, like while we were watching the movie, I looked up like the trivia on the movie. just to even hurt him more. Like, oh, funny story here. Like, side note, the guy playing Mutt Williams is Jewish, and he is
Are you kidding me? For fuck's sake!
what?
He couldn't hear you.
Oh, and he once had a problem on the set of Fury, where he played a born again Christian, and had to have his rabbi come to set to talk him out of being in the tank because he wanted to spend so much time in the tank. They were doing a dangerous stunt, and funnily enough, his rabbi's like, "You're not even Christian, boy. You get back here." He didn't care though. Visually, that's an awesome movie, but it doesn't make sense.
What? Okay. It has Shia LaBeouf swinging through the trees with monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's so good. It's so good. One of the things that as a fat guy, I go, would that hold my weight? And I'm like, would that hold his weight? I mean, come on now. You're putting a lot of faith in those vines. I'm like, way too much faith in those vines. But at one point, they get a car nearly sawn in half because they blow up that awesome logger that doesn't even make sense because it wouldn't have taken out the tree trunks, which they were supposedly driving over. I don't know how that worked, but they almost destroy the car that they're in, and it gets cut in half. And then like 10 minutes later, it comes back into the scene, and it's got like 20 soldiers on it. Like, what? How is that? That car was abandoned. Like, how are all the soldiers on that car now? They just needed to keep adding soldiers to kill them off, and later, like the fire ant scene, and then a tree scene, and then the water scene. It's like, what the? But the thing that bothered me the most is that there was a guy called Mac. He was a friend of Indy's. Absolute piece of shit. But he was an endearing piece of shit, like much like myself. But he was so shady in the role that I'm like, how was he your friend in the first place? Like, if he was so money hungry and backstabby, and like the whole time he's pocketing gold, like, oh, I'm all about the gold, and he's pocketing gold. I'm like, how, if you're this ethical, this needs to be in a museum, would you ever have teamed up with this guy? He was less likable than that French guy from the first movie who didn't rape Marion. And Marion bothers me on a whole level of her own. She's not actually a tough person. She plays a tough person. She's not tough because she absolutely cannot back it up. She has to have civility on the part of everybody else for her to be the tough girl. That's not tough.
Yeah.
That's manipulative.
Yeah.
Like, she bullies Indy, but anybody else comes around and she's like, we can talk about this because they're holding you down and they have a fire poker. But before that, when everyone was being civil, you were a tough bitch. You're not tough. If you can't hold your own, you're not a tough person. You just act tough because you're taking advantage of the people around you. You're a piece of shit.
Well, and then there was that whole subplot of, statutory rape.
Yeah, which was just absolutely weird.
Yeah, it's like, why would you do that? Why would they? Yeah. And the only thing that I can think of is it's the only thing that explains. And it wasn't a big deal in the 80s when the movies were made because you couldn't really tell how old Harrison Ford was. But by the time the fourth one comes around, there's no hiding the fact that he's just an old-ass man. And she's still relatively young, and the age disparity is obvious, so they had to do something about it, it seems like.
Well, that was another thing that how old is Harrison Ford? He's like 76 or something, right?
I'm not sure now. but he was like 40 and 77. I thought, like pushing 40.
He's 77. Which is weird because Sean Connery is 89. So there's a 12-year difference between the two of them.
Yeah. But again, at the time when they were doing that movie, Sean Connery had advanced.
Can you hear
age.
me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sean Connery had advanced in age to the point where it was like, you're not going to be able to play a younger character at all. You have to play a mature character. And Harrison Ford was still relatively youngish and could be playing like a 30-something-year-old. Whereas it looked like Sean Connery was, 60s and 70s, even though Harrison Ford was probably 50. I don't know how old he was in that. Was that 89?
So she's 67. Karen Allen is 67.
So she's 10 years younger than Harrison Ford.
Yeah. So when was Indiana Jones filmed? Like, does this even need to be an issue? Let's see, 81. So what? So she was 22. No. Fuck, math is not my strong suit.
No, yeah, she'd be about 22. Well, not even 22. Well, yes, because she was born in 52. So she would have been she'd been 29, 28, 29.
Yeah, so a decade earlier, she would have been 19. So literally, this was a completely farcical thing.
Right.
That's dumb. And that's a Lucas thing for you. Making up something that didn't even need to be a thing. I'm so glad he lost hard on Howard the Duck, even though I completely enjoy that movie.
Duck tits.
Yeah, because he put bestiality into a movie. Never mind that ducks have corkscrew penises.
Well, now you know why she. What was her name? The chick that was in everything back then.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson. Yeah. Now you know why she was having such a good time.
Yeah. I even enjoyed the song, the Howard the Duck song.
Howard the Duck song was actually pretty solid. It really was.
Beats the crap out of every James Bond song that's been written for the last 25 freaking films. 24.
James Bond theme songs have not been good since Duran Duran did theirs. And then all the rest of them have sucked.
Well, Madonna did one. Adele did one.
Okay, Skyfall was okay. Skyfall was probably the closest one that you could, of the last batch of, especially of all the, what's the character? Who's the guy who plays Bond right now?
It's a girl, and she's black.
Well, no. I mean, the
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig movies. Daniel Craig movies, while they're good action movies, they just don't feel like James Bond movies.
I haven't liked any of the Bond women since they were Pierce Brosnan was Bond. Terry Thatcher, Denise Richardson, or Denise
Didn't
Richards.
she play Dr. Christmas? Is that who?
Yeah, Christmas comes early this year. Yeah. But since then, I'm like, what? Why'd you make him pretty and them ugly? What's going on here? I don't understand it.
Feminism, dude.
What other movies can we shit on while we're here?
Oh, we can shit on all kinds of them. I am about done with fucking Marvel.
Well, Marvel's almost over anyway, so.
No, it's not. They're
Not
going
even
into
close.
phase 4. Yeah.
They should have stopped at 3.
There's a new Splash coming out. Did you guys watch
Why? Why?
No. It's even better than that. Did you guys watch 22 Jump Street?
No.
Maybe.
All right, there's this fat girl who is like completely clueless about it, but she's constantly calling out Jonah Hill for being old. So originally she's starring in the new Splash. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're gonna have a fat mermaid? No, they're not gonna have a fat mermaid, because Splash is this fat girl from that movie and Channing Tatum, and they're reversing the roles. It's going to be a merman this time.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that. That's fine. I don't care. I just don't think they need to remake a movie. I mean, it's not like Splash.
Well, they're re-envisioning it clearly.
Well, again, it's not like Splash was totally original when it came out, but at least it had its own name. It was creative in its own right in that it was telling a story that's been told ad nauseum for centuries, but they put a spin on it that was actually pretty interesting. And Daryl Hannah was fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say we're doing the same thing here. Even if, you're going to gender bend it and switch the roles. Okay, Channing Tatum's a good-looking dude. Okay, so he's hot for the women. That's fine. Name it something else. Get something original with it. Call it something like Squirt.
Ew, no, don't call it Squirt.
No.
Welcome to my reimagining of Splash. We're calling it Moist, because every time he gets moist, he turns into a fish.
Yeah.
It would be a little easier. Yeah, it would be a little easier because all you have to do is carry around a pair of pants, as opposed to needing to cover up a woman.
That's true. Well, and her hair was, adequate for the purpose. What are they going to do? Put a huge ass market on Channing Tatum?
No, it's too goddamn long. Too long.
But it made for the underwater scenes to be interesting because her hair was flowing all over the place.
Dive again. You're doing so well. But yeah, so they're doing the gender bending, and of course we've got the Coming to America 2,
which I'm actually kind of excited for. And you know what? I'm okay with that being a sequel because it's literally the same people from the first movie,
except the Queen.
Well, she's dead, so yeah. But I mean, Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, who's apparently back now, I guess. I don't know where he went, but he's doing Saturday Night Live again.
After 35 years.
That's amazing. Is he doing is he going on back out on the road for stand-up? Because that'd be awesome. Or
I have no idea.
Might be awesome.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, Raw wasn't so good, but... Or no, what was...
I like Raw.
Raw was good. What was the follow-up that wasn't
Raw?
Good? No, Delirious was good. Raw was, not as good, and everybody noted it. And that's the one he was going through his divorce, and he was all pissed off.
Half, Eddie. Half.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, it's going to be another woke sequel that goes to shit.
No, they're not going to fuck with, especially after he just did a blaxploitation in I Am Dolomite. He's not going to woke it. But he could have, some interesting interactions with woke people.
I think that's more likely. And I think that's the humor we're going to start to see because now that, the political correct wokeness has become so ubiquitous, the only thing that comedy can do is start going the other way with it, and you can't do it full bore because it's too common and too ingrained, but just like they did back in the 70s and kind of went the other way with comedy, then they're going to have to do the same thing now and go the other way, back the other way, and start making fun of those people again.
Which would be nice. Let's see. Remakes coming out in 2020. Oh, The Addams Family, which is an absolute shit cast, even though it's going to be animated.
Yeah, that doesn't even... I'm not excited for that to be animated. I think that is one of those properties that is best done live, and if you want to do spooky animated, you can do pretty much anything else. Like the Hotel Transylvania series is good for that.
Mm-hmm. Clue is coming out in 2020 with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, well, I love Ryan Reynolds, but so that gives me some hope, but he is not Tim Curry.
Yeah, it's completely different. Top Gun is coming out. Godzilla King of Monsters.
That actually looks good.
Avatar. Gremlins 3.
What? Isn't there already a Gremlins 3?
No, just 2.
I could have sworn there was 3 of those movies. I could have sworn there was 4
No,
of
there's
those
only
movies.
2. Nope, only 2 Gremlins.
And you know what? Those are Christmas movies, technically.
Oh, Jesus. Another Indiana Jones project for 2021.
Yeah, let's hope not. And has Shia LaBeouf just fallen off the planet yet? Because I don't want him anywhere near Hollywood anymore.
He's not listed. It's Harrison Ford, Steven Spielberg, and Jonathan Kasdan. I don't know. They're going to make it older. The adaptation of 1957's musical West Side Story.
Again?
Well, again, 1957 to 2020.
Well, no, they did a version in the 70s, didn't they? They made a movie in the 70s. Late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, my God. They're remaking Twins.
Okay, with who?
Julius and Vincent Benedict discover they have a third sibling. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and Eddie Murphy.
Okay, that's going to be as bad as the one where Arnold plays the pregnant dude.
It's called Triplets.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Pet
But again,
Sematary already
apparently
came out.
Eddie Murphy is back. I don't know what he's done, but seeing as he is now popping up in literally everything all of a sudden.
Yeah. G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant coming out in 2020, starring a bunch of people. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, because that movie is made for children, and we are no longer children.
Shut your face. Bad Boys for Life has Vanessa Hudgens in it. Okay.
That might be interesting. I'm going to reserve judgment on that one.
I like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
I do
didn't care
too.
for Martin Lawrence in the second movie though.
Well, and Martin Lawrence is one of those cats that's only got one note, and he beats the shit out of that note. And yeah, it started not working between the two movies. Like even on his TV show, it wasn't working anymore.
Oh god damn. They're making another Die Hard.
What are they calling it?
McClane.
I wonder if they're going to give it the Logan treatment.
Yeah, pass it on to his son.
Well, no, just like you saw the movie Logan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, just make it a swan song for the character.
Men in Black, because that did such a good job.
Right.
Men in Black International.
Well, guys, this has
Conjuring
been
3.
fascinating. But I'm gonna head out.
All
Good
right.
night.
Hey, don't forget to fuck off.
Later.
Bye.
Fuck you too.
Annabelle comes home. Don't care. They are doing another Jumanji movie. I saw that. This one looks. Have you seen the?
No, I have
this
not
one?
seen. I have not seen any of them, including the first one.
No. I'm talking about the trailer for it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you didn't even see the new Jumanji?
No, I haven't seen any of the
All right.
Jumanjis.
So in the first one, you've got Robin Williams and Helen Hunt's sister, Bonnie Hunt, and then these two kids, Kirsten Dunst and some kid is a monkey. That's how it starts. Robin Williams gets sucked into the Jumanji game, gets popped out 35 years later when the kids find the game. Bonnie Hunt's character was playing with Robin Williams. Her life's ruined. She's fucked up. She told people that he disappeared into a board game, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, Jumanji into the now period is played by 4 high schoolers. The board game adapted itself to a console because it's the future. So these 4 teens who are like 17, 16 years old, absolutely stereotypical kids. There's a nerd, a jock, a popular girl, and a shy girl. They get transported into the video game, which has characters now, and the geek is portrayed by The Rock. The big jock, whose name was like Fridge or something, is playing Kevin Hart, or is played by Kevin Hart. Karen Gillian plays the shy girl, who's now a sexy slut bomb. And the popular girl is Jack Black's character. And they go on an adventure, they come back, and now they're all best friends. This new movie that's coming out has the same cast and crew, the same characters, plus Nick Jonah is a fifth character. In this one, they end up playing the game again. The kid, the nerd, who destroyed the game, fixes it. They think he went into the game, so they jump into the game, the other characters. Two of them make it in, a couple of them don't, and other characters get involved. And now Kevin Hart is going to be played by a character being portrayed by Danny Glover. Like a 75-year-old fucking old-ass adult. And The Rock's character is going to be based on the portrayal of Grandpa, played by Danny fucking DeVito.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to work, but it looks like absolute shit. Suicide Squad's coming out in 2021.
Well, there's Bill and Ted that's coming out at some point.
Yeah. Untitled Accountant sequel. Apparently, Ben Affleck's Accountant was popular enough to get a second one. Coming to America has James Earl Jones in it. Yeah, Coming to America 2. It's also got Wesley Snipes for some reason.
Because he's black.
A Quiet Place 2 is coming out in 2020. World War Z 2.
I did catch the end of A Quiet Place, and it looked like it was an interesting premise, and the ending was actually good, but I don't think I need to watch the rest of it because it looks like it was all just build up to the climax, which I've already seen.
It's absolutely stupid. There's a place, the place with the waterfall with all the noise. They should have stayed there. They didn't. That's dumb.
Okay.
Godzilla versus King Kong. Another Charlie's Angel, this time with black people and other people. Naomi Scott, she's some sort of mixed. So Kristen Stewart, Elizabeth Banks, Naomi Scott. Jesus Christ, Fast and Furious 9.
I remember they used to make fun of Rocky movies having too many sequels. Back when they were on literally Rocky 4.
Well, you remember Back to the Future.
Yeah, they had a joke in there, Rocky like 70 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, another Sherlock Holmes, because Robert Downey Jr.'s English accent is so good.
So he's going to play Sherlock again?
Yeah.
And, I actually enjoyed those movies. And Jude Law plays Watson.
Yeah, and Rachel McAdams is in it again. So apparently it's going to be...
Yeah, those are okay. I'm a sucker for a Victorian period piece or Edwardian period piece.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
There's The Batman coming out in 2021, and it stars Matt Reeves, Bill Finger, and Robert Pattinson. I wonder which one of those are going to be Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. They announced him as the new Batman.
Expendables 4 is coming out eventually. Oh, shit. Another Passion of the Christ. That's what we need.
How do you have a sequel to that?
I don't know. But it's got Jim Caviezel.
Okay. They're just out of ideas. And when they flood the market with nonsense like that you can bank on, even though it's going to suck, that you'd still be mildly entertained, nobody's going to take a risk with anything that they don't. You know what I mean? Like, there could be good indie shit coming out like we had in the 80s where people were just trying different shit and see what stuck. You know, you don't get that out of Hollywood anymore. They're making a fourth Matrix movie.
Yeah, I saw that. Wonder Woman 1984. Oh, good.
Is it
With
going to star
Kristen
Linda
Wiig.
Carter? No.
No, Gal Gadot.
Well, I don't mind looking at Gal Gadot, but she's no Linda Carter.
Another grunge movie. They're redoing Jacob Ladder. This time he's black, so that should be interesting. Lion King, Aladdin, John Wick 3, Angel Has Fallen, Don't Breathe 2. I didn't see Don't Breathe 1. Wait, Don't Breathe, that's about the blind guy, right?
I don't know. Another Terminator?
Yeah, Dark Fate. Apparently Edward Furlong's back, which is a huge mistake because I just recently saw him in Arachnoquake, and it was what's the word? Terrible.
Yeah.
Untitled Star Trek sequel, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Glass, Hellboy, 47 Meters Down Uncaged, It Chapter 2. Reboot of the classic horror film, which will premiere 40 years after the original. Another Friday the 13th. Which is weird because we just had a remake of Friday the 13th.
No, we just had a remake of Halloween. They're doing that again, too.
No. The last Friday the 13th was a remake. But it was a remake of the first three films altogether because he had his mask by the end.
Okay. What else was I going to say?
But there's been two Halloweens. Like they did the remake with Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie got a sequel for a Halloween 2. This time, John Carpenter's coming back for the next Halloween movie.
That I might see just because he's involved. I like John Carpenter.
I heard a lot of good stuff about Happy Death Day. Apparently, it's a horror movie meets Groundhog's Day. So of course they're making a second one of that. A live-action Disney adaptation of Pinocchio called Pinocchio.
I really dislike Disney's doing this. We're going to take our cartoons and we're going to make live-action versions, and then we're going to take our live-action movies and make cartoons.
Yeah,
I really don't like that.
I watched Hellboy the reboot because it was a reboot, and absolute shit. It was terrible.
Yeah,
and the dad still died.
Watch that when it's on Netflix, but yeah, I'm not high hopes for that one. I as much as I liked the original Hellboy with Ron Perlman, and I liked its sequel, I had to admit the sequel wasn't as good as the first one, and they were headed in a bad direction.
But visually, it was awesome.
Oh my god, visually it was so much better. But that's because they had the budget that they didn't have on the first one. But yeah, the writing was not there.
Mulan might not be coming out. They might put a hold on that for a couple months because of
China.
No. Well, yeah, kind of. The shit they were talking about. The leader, Mulan, the character Mulan, talked a whole bunch of shit about somebody, and it got its way around. They're coming out with a Maniac Cop again. Fucking Rush Hour 4.
I want to know. I don't want sequels anymore. I want weird, like Arachnoquake. Of course it's shit, but I want more trauma level films. Trauma, whatever. Because as bad as they are, they're not pretending like they're good, and they end up being good because of it.
Well, here's the thing. So they are kind of shit, but entertaining. The Asylum invested $4 million in making a movie, a good movie, and it made $4 million. So they realized through trial and error, like sometimes they actually go into the millions of dollars again, but for the most part, they put forth, $400,000 to make Arachnoquake, and it makes $2 million. If they find that even if they do bigger budget, it doesn't bring in bigger bucks.
Right.
So Asylum's always going to be around because of that. They're not risking, they're not Canon or New Line, who had to close down because of a risky venture where they lost $100 million or whatever the hell the loss was on the Lone Ranger. They literally, like, they call up their directors like, hey, we're going to make Fists of Fury 5. Are you in? Like, sure. Yeah, I got I'll be wrapping this up in about a month and I can start filming. Oh, sorry, we're starting filming next week. Can you write a script for us? Like, that's what they do, like, every time. And it's been cute. Like, Lavalantula, I loved Lavalantula. I didn't care for Lavalantula, really. But seeing, like, nearly every living member of the police academy back in a film together.
That's what kills me, is that it is a police academy movie. And you might as well just be a police academy movie. It's got everybody, it's got the same jokes, and it's wonderful.
I didn't care for the star where Steve Guttenberg just had his head up his ass. But when he got going, I liked it. I enjoyed the Sharknadoes, even though, like, there were some weird cameos.
Yeah, I mean, just that tongue-in-cheek, irreverent, yeah, we know this kind of sucks, but you're going to like it anyway, because it's kind of awesome at the same time.
And I did.
Yeah, and they're fantastic.
Ha! There's a new Masters of the Universe coming out in 2021.
Oh, does it have, shit, guy who played Drago. What the hell is his name?
No. Well, at least not that I know of. It's got Noah Centineo, Aaron Nee, and Adam Nee. I'm going to have to look them up.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's being either directed or written by Kevin Smith.
Yeah. These are either going to be muscular twins or they're going to be a baby. Oh, wait. Maybe they're directors. Okay, Aaron Nee's a director and Adam Nee's a writer. Okay, so they're actor, director Aaron Nee and
Maybe
Adam
he's a producer. Nee. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Pretty sure he's involved with that, though.
Well, let's see what this fucking Serrano guy looks like. Noah Serrano. Noah Serrano is an American actor. From the Disney Channel, How to Build a Better Boy. He's not muscular at all. Okay, I have no idea what's going on with Masters of the Universe.
I think that's such a newly announced IP.
Hey, Dad, guess what?
Hang on.
Yeah, it's 2021. Rise of the Living Dead. The thing that bothered me about Ex Machina was the state-of-the-art lab that they used. Had no biometrics, only a key card. That's stupid.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah. Toy Story 4, Jurassic World 3, X-Force. Dark Phoenix, which is fucking awful. New Mutants. All Quiet on the Western Front. Another Highlander.
You know what? If that would be one series that I would be okay with them completely redoing.
Yeah, if they started including guns. So tell you what, I cannot sword fight for shit. But I can put 4 rounds of buckshot into all of your major limbs and cut your fucking head off. Oh, god damn it. The $6 Million Man.
Because that translates well.
The $6 Billion Man, sorry.
Yeah, still.
Really. Starring Mark Wahlberg.
Hollywood is out of ideas.
Untitled Cloverfield sequel, Rambo: Last Blood, Untitled Star Trek, Mulan.
Okay, speaking of Star Trek, what do you give the new Picard series?
Huh?
What chances do you give the new Picard series?
Everyone who loved the old Picard series will watch the new Picard series, and we'll see how it goes from there. Even though it was very liberal and hippy dippy.
Which one? The Next Generation?
Next Generation. Literally, their first outing was absolutely. It was having to defend themselves against the warring of the human species, and it's the only TV show I've ever seen where the war was ended by a strongly worded letter that had a consensus of other people agreeing. Everything else is super duper conservative in comparison. Like Stargate, you went to other country or you went to other worlds and you kicked their ass with guns. That's a very conservative thought process. In the Next Generation, there were strongly worded letters written with a consensus of other people who were like-minded agreeing that what you're doing is naughty and should be stopped. It's the only time I've ever seen it.
Okay, so you're talking in the show in general, not just Encounter at Farpoint.
Well, there was some shooting and stuff like that. They eventually had to happen. But yeah, they repeatedly, like all the special, every time Q was there, it was definitely extra liberal.
Well, it's one of those things that you have to beat the omnipotent God character with logic and reason, because you're certainly not going to do it by force, because he's literally an omnipotent God character.
Yeah. Did Django Lives?
Could be interesting.
Yeah, renowned gunslinger fends off racism in 1914.
Weird time period, but okay.
Yeah, because that's 50 years later.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird. But, I mean, it could work.
As long as it's not starring... Oh, my grandma will appreciate this one. M is for Murder.
Really?
Yeah. She's a big fan of that
Hitchcock?
author. I can't think of her name.
Well, that's not Hitchcock. That's, yeah.
That's like Dial M for Murder or something.
Yeah.
I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Gloria Bell, I don't know what that is. Miss Bala, don't know what that is. Legally Blonde 3.
Again, that... How
2020. She's got to be like the owner of the law firm.
I was going to say, that doesn't work because she's... I mean, it just doesn't translate. I mean, that was a Gen X movie.
I
We're
like
on Gen Z now. We just skipped over the Y.
I like the Zathura and Zoom. I enjoyed both those. Friday Night Lights is becoming a movie. The King's Man. Okay, no. Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune.
That never works. I don't know why they keep trying.
Starring Zendaya, Jason Momoa, and Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, it just never works. I don't know why they keep
Wicked.
trying to do that.
Oh, The Witches is coming out with Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci and Octavia Spencer. God damn it. Space Jams 2.
That's with LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again is not going to work because his career is already over. And he just was never as big as Michael was. Ever. In any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's taller.
Yeah.
So that's a form.
Yeah, not nearly as important to his sport, not nearly the cultural icon.
Yeah, no.
None of it.
Firestarter. What Men Want. That's going to be stupid.
Yeah, you know they're going to play that just terribly.
Deadwood the movie. Stoned Alone. A stoner misses his plane. Oh, god damn it. It's Home Alone with weed.
So it's a Seth Rogen joint, is what you're telling me?
Kevin Burrows, Matt Mitter, and Augustine Frizzell.
I'm sorry, Nephilim. That sucks.
A stoner misses the plane for his holiday ski trip, gets high, and becomes paranoid that people are breaking into his house. He tries to thwart the thieves who really have broken into his home. Berlin, I Love You. Oh, Child's Play, which is has Mark Hamill in it, by the way.
As
Tim
a voice?
Atkins.
As a voice or as an actor?
Actually, this is like almost in theaters, so I can click on this. Oh shit! Mark Hamill's playing Chucky.
Good.
So yeah, a voice.
Yes, I love Mark Hamill. Well, I love Mark Hamill, period, except for his politics. But I love him as a voice actor. He is one of the best. He's so underrated.
Oh yeah, his Joker is ridiculous.
Oh my god, his Joker's the best.
This should actually be pretty annoying because Aubrey Plaza is playing Karen Barkley, Andy's mom.
It's just a weird world when the starlets of the generation behind you are now playing mature characters.
Yeah, all right, I'm done. I'm feeling old and hateful.
Yeah. Yep. It's like when you see Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, I'm like, yes, Marissa Tomei. She's playing an old woman. What the hell is up with that?
Well, how old is Marissa Tomei? I can't even spell her name, so there's no point looking it up.
47-ish, I want to say.
Well, Peter's supposed to be 17. So you figure have a kid at 25, your aunt or the little sister is a couple years younger.
Oh, wow. She's a full 10 years older than me. She's 54.
That's a little old.
She looks great for 54.
I mean, when my mom was the oldest daughter, she had me, she was 20. So my aunt's like 15 years older than me. So when you cut it down, that's actually a pretty decent age gap if she's 30 years older than Peter Parker, the only child.
Well, yeah, and she's the aunt. So, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I guess. It's just, in the comic books, Aunt May was literally like a 60 or 70-year-old woman.
Well, yeah, and because they needed the age gap because Tobey Maguire was 32. Yeah, but I like this Peter Parker, which is it's a shame they're doing as bad as they are between Sony and Disney.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I've not been a fan of most iterations of Spider-Man at all, but this kid is actually really good.
Mhm. But Disney or Sony's all, why make billions when we can make millions? But Spider-Man, which is a Sony property, made $1 billion. So, fuck you. Because Marvel itself is awfully demanding. Like, they don't.
Yeah, I guess it's just that now that Stan's dead and Disney owns them, and they're literally doing the same 18 different variants of every single one of their characters, for multi, there's no continuity to their storylines. That in the movies now, that just everything is slapdash and well, in this movie it's this way, and in this movie it was the other way, and they're not really the same thing. It's just like, you know what? Stop. No, stop.
Yeah.
It's the
What the
reason I
hell's
don't read
Thor
comic
doing?
books anymore. Well,
Thor's dead.
becoming a woman, apparently.
Well, I'm saying Thor's dead. Like, he died in Ragnarok. He was dead before Civil War. So to have him keep going, it's like, you can do anything you want now. You're not even here. Actually, a big part of Civil War was the Thor had died, and Tony had cloned him, and he was this big brooding fucking guy, but he didn't have the brain of Thor, but he had Thor's powers, so they called him Clone Thor. He ended up killing a guy, one of Hank Pym's guys, but still.
The disposables. That's what they need. They need a disposables team.
Yeah.
They just literally kill them off.
They had that in X-Force. Oh my god, that was so good. There was a lot of good cameos for the second Deadpool movie.
Yeah, there were.
And the fact that they had like the whole X-Men cast on set for a day just for a side joke. Like, yeah. They're kissing your ass, Ryan Reynolds. Because that was a shitty joke. Like, literally, it could have been anybody. It could have been the cast of a superhero movie playing the cast of the X-Men, but they had the actual actors. Not Michael Fassbender, but like the rest of them. All the X-Men mutants. I don't know any of their names because they're all shit, except for James McAvoy. But they were all there. What, Nick... what the fuck's the kid's name? Anyway, the one from sprayed silver in his face in the Tom Hardy Mad Max movie. They're all nobodies.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I couldn't tell you names. I'm terrible with actors' names, so.
Oh, we're here for possibly an hour and a half. I think that's enough since we stopped covering news like an hour ago.
I don't think we covered any news this time around.
We did. There was a thing with the
little Biden bit, but that was about it.
Just a little swallow a little Joe. That's all you got to do.
I don't know. Nephilim, you got anything to add before we get out of here? And we wait 90 seconds for that.
Got a white boy for Space Jams. That's an ad, all right. You know what would be kind of like, at least they're trying, as if they made Space Jams about the women. And then, like, the whole time you'd be like, who's this bitch? Because I don't know anybody in the WNBA.
That would be funny.
But she would have excellent fundamentals, which is important.
And they just make it gay as fuck.
Yeah. Megan Rapaport is in the news for her conservative dad's views. And I'm like, I don't care about you.
Well, no, that was just... She hasn't done anything since she won the soccer tournament, so they were trying to bring her back and make her relevant again so you don't forget her, and it's just not working. Nobody gives a shit.
I have forgotten her.
It took me a minute to realize who you were talking about when you said the name. I'm like, who? I've heard that name. Where's that? Oh yeah, it's a soccer bitch. Okay.
Are we off?
No, but we can be.
Mm.
Okay.
Well,